Today we are talking about burglary protection, focusing on single-family homes. We will look at how burglaries occur and what tools are used. I will show you a lot of statistics and we will conduct a burglary attempt. And I will show you what you need to pay attention to, namely securing all openings in the house. I will show you which ones now. About 10% of burglars in single-family homes gain entry through the front door, so you need to have a burglary-resistant door. There are 6 resistance classes for this. RC1 is the lowest and RC6 is the highest. For single-family homes, resistance classes RC2 to RC4 are generally recommended. However, it always depends on your individual security risk. Additionally, you should have special security locks installed. And if you have such a glass panel next to the door, above the door, or near the door, make sure that the glass is burglary resistant. Otherwise, it can be easily smashed, reached through, and the door may be opened from the inside if it has not been specially locked. Perpetrators will try to pry open the front door, smash the glass, or pick the lock. It depends on whether they are opportunistic offenders or professional burglars, and on the individual conditions of your building. These are typical burglary tools, showing how windows or doors are pried open. And now, I will show you how to prevent this. Burglary-resistant doors have multi-lock systems and anti-pry features, making it harder to force them open. They have security locks and burglary-resistant glass. By the way, it's super convenient when you can look out, but offenders cannot look in. Mirrors do not usually work at night, but there are electrically switchable glasses that can. In about 80% of cases, burglars enter through windows or patio doors. That is why it is important that your windows are burglary resistant and that the glass is also burglary resistant. You can recognize burglary resistant windows by the so-called mushroom head locks. They interlock and make it more difficult to pry open the window. It is also important that the glass pane is burglary resistant. There are resistance classes P6B, P7B, and P8B glass. It should be as secure as the window. It is very important that the pane cannot be smashed and that offenders cannot reach through the glass. Offenders obviously do not want to be detected. About 35% of offenders enter through the back of the house when it is less visible, and about 23% through the garden, as it is, for example, less visible than the front of the house. All openings in your house that are less visible are particularly at risk, so do not forget the side entrances, basement windows, and the back of the house. And the top floor is of course included as well, especially if offenders can access it via a ladder or climbing aid, for example. Do you actually believe that most burglars come at night? No, that is not the case. Just under 10% of burglaries occur at night, specifically between midnight and 6 a.m. Most burglaries happen in the afternoon to early evening, roughly between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. What do you think? In which months do burglaries occur most frequently? Is it August? No, it is not. It is the dark months, October, November, a very strong burglary month, December, and also January and February. And on which days of the week do burglaries occur particularly often? Those are Saturday, Sunday, and Thursday. Why? I don't think there is necessarily a logical explanation for that. And these are statistics. That doesn't mean that a burglary won't happen to you on a Monday. By the way, you can find all sources for the statistics in the description. For effective burglary protection, it is very important that you secure all openings in the building. Of course, those that are not easily visible are particularly vulnerable. Speaking of not easily visible, basement windows? Here, offenders can work in peace. They are hardly seen and hardly heard. Let's take a closer look at this. Almost 10% of break-ins occur through the basement. These are the basement windows and doors. Therefore, it is important to secure the basement shafts and also make the basement windows burglary resistant. So, again, burglary resistant windows, burglary resistant glass. Because once the burglar is sitting here, no one sees him and no one hears him. If the burglary resistant windows, like these, have lockable window handles, it means you must lock all the windows and remove the keys before leaving the house. And when he comes home, he has to put the key back in and unlock it. It's a lot of work. I have never seen a house where this is really done for all windows. Therefore, I recommend using burglary-resistant windows that do not require lockable window handles. By the way, in about 3% of cases, burglars enter through open windows because they have not been closed. And a tilted window is actually like an open window. It can be easily broken into. By the way, what I am showing you does not replace individual security advice. The The myth that particularly large glass panes are not targeted is simply not true. It always depends on the object. And that is why it is so important that the glass is as secure as the window frame. Now we will conduct a practical test. I have prepared two different panes. Here I have a triple insulating glass pane without additional burglary protection. And here I have a burglary-resistant pane from Cellar, also a triple insulating glass. Let's see what the panes can withstand, because there are people who say a triple pane can withstand 3 times as much. Let's take a look. Come a little closer, I'll show you what happened here. The triple insulating glass pane is made up of 3 tempered safety glass panes, the outer, the middle, and the inner. You see, wherever I break this tempered safety glass, it shatters across the entire surface and comes down in blunt-edged crumbs. This means I have a very low risk of injury. Triple panes can also be made from float glass. It would break a bit differently. I'll show you here. This is a float glass pane. It breaks into larger pieces. When would one rather use such insulating glass panes made of tempered safety glass or float glass? That depends on the project and the size of the windows. And now I'll show you how a breakage of the glass behaves. Come here, I'll show you what happened. So you see the triple insulating glass, the outer 2 panes were also made of tempered glass in this case. They are gone. And now we are working on the burglary-resistant composite here, and we will also attack it further now. Can you help me a bit? Thank you. Yes, glass and windows should be similarly stable. And if you are interested in more about glass, I will link a video here. And how long should we try to keep the intruder outside? Is 3 minutes enough? Or should it be 10 minutes? Of course, it always depends on the object and the group of perpetrators, as well as a few other factors. But the longer we keep the perpetrator outside, the higher the likelihood that he will give up. And that is exactly why the criminal police recommend prioritizing mechanical burglary protection with electronic measures such as cameras and alarm systems as a supplement, but not the other way around. If you liked the video, feel free to share it, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new content. Thank you for watching and see you next time.